Alright, I'm going to show you how to sweat a joint on a piece of copper pipe. The first thing you need to do is you need to clean the end of the pipe that you want to put your fitting on. So what I've got here is I've got a tool that has some bristle in it, and it takes like 3/4 inch pipe and 1/2 inch pipe, and this is to clean the inside of the pipe out. You can use one of these tools, or you can also use emery cloth. It'll do the same thing. These are kind of neat little tools to keep in the toolbox. You tend to have a lot of copper pipe projects and things around the house you need to repair from time to time. So how you use this tool is you put it over the end of the pipe like this, you twist around, and make sure when you clean off the ends you've cleaned enough to go beyond the end of the fitting. So you cleaned a little bit, but I'm going a little bit further. What this does is it gets rid of all the oxidation on a copper pipe. So when you solder it, the solder will take to the pipe. If you don't clean it like this, the solder will not take to the pipe, and it'll all beat off, and you won't have a good joint. So that's nice and clean. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is, here's the fitting that I want to put on it. So with the end of this, I'm going to clean out the inside of the fitting, so that we have a good clean base inside the elbow. And I'm going to do the other one too, because we're going to kind of imagine that this is going onto another piece of pipe. It's not. I've kind of got this set up in a vise just to show you what to do. So that's all nice and clean inside. And now what we're going to need is some flux. Let me get that. So I have some flux right here. This is a pre-tinning flux. You know, I think most of them are pre-tinning now on the market. And what that means is it has a little bit of solder mixed in. And you're going to want to put this on the end of the pipe. And when it heats up, when you heat the fitting up, this flux will help to draw in the solder. And where it has a little bit of solder in it, it'll also, put some solder in that joint a lot easier. And it'll be easier to connect. And you're going to put a little solder inside the elbow. Or the, coupling or whatever it is you're trying to, or the 45, whatever it is that you're trying to solder. And then you're going to slide it on the end. Just like that. And again, we've cleaned about this far past the joint. So when I solder it, the solder is going to have a nice clean base to adhere to. And what I also have is you're going to want to get an old t-shirt and put some, wet it. Make it wet so that when you're soldering your joints, you can wipe it with something wet so you have a nice clean joint. So this one's still a little damp, but it's actually an old Van Halen shirt, but hey, I'll never take down my Cheryl Tiegs poster, right? Anyway, let me fire up this torch. And I've got my solder. So when you're using your torch, a little bit about the torch. When you solder, you're going to want to keep the flame in and around the middle of the torch, like up here, like 3/4 of the way up. You don't want to put the cone, this bright cone, on the fitting, because one, it could cut off the flame and you'll blow the torch out and you have to relight it. And two, inside that cone is oxygen in there, and it's actually not as hot as the middle of the flame up by this end. So you don't want it at the very end, but kind of like up in the middle around here. So I'm going to go along here. When you heat the pipe up, when you're trying to solder the joint, heat up the end of the fitting. Don't heat up down here because you're not getting the fitting hot. If you get the fitting hot, that's what's going to suck in the solder. So I can see my solder starting to melt with the flux. Take the flame away and kind of run the solder like that. Then you're going to take your shirt and you're going to wipe away any excess solder. So you don't burn yourself as it's hot. It's kind of all there is to it. Just make sure you shut your torch off. And that way there, you have a nice clean joint. That's what it looks like. It's all wiped down. And if you wanted to cool the joint down, you can spray it with a spray bottle, or if it's connected to the rest of the pipe in your house. So if you're working on a project like this, and it's a little piece of device that you're trying to do, you can put this in like a bucket of water. It'll cool it down right away, and then you can kind of attach it to the rest of the project that you're working on. So please subscribe to our channel. We have all kinds of repairs we're doing and recipes too, and all kinds of neat stuff on this channel. So thanks for watching.